Welcome to session 5. We are going to talk about winter, and it's exactly the same assignment as you've had before with each of the other seasons. This time I want you to take a look at your tree. It's a bare tree this time. There's no leaves on it. And I want you to color it, use words, pick out some stickers, figure out what winter looks like for you. Now, I find this really interesting because when I chose the seasons to sort of walk us through this study, winter can be awesome, but the words are death, endings, and closure. I think hibernating and that time of winter and that dormancy is sort of a signal of death, endings, and closure. But I was just watching something on the Hallmark Channel, and the woman that introduced the movie said, "I love winter." And I thought, it kind of makes it seem like I don't love winter. You can still love winter. It's just a symbol. It's just a symbol of the fact that the ground does freeze in many parts of the world, and the leaves are off of the trees. Things look different, and sometimes the flow of life changes a bit in the winter. So I want to encourage you to create your tree. I want you to think about the same things. What experiences mark this time of the year? What colors? What do you think of when you think about winter? And then specifically think about some experiences that were winter experiences. And for me, I have to tell you that it is death. When I think about it, it's not just death of people, although that is significant and important. For me, it is also the death of some of my dreams. It's actually getting to the point where I can say, I don't think that's going to happen the way I thought it was going to happen. And then you say that, or you get to that point, and then you have to wrestle with it. What does that look like? Oh my gosh, I had so much expectation, so much hope, such a big dream for this, and it's over. It's just not going to look the way I thought it was going to look. So for me, one of the things that has kind of helped me to kind of think about winter and emotionally think about winter, are there any places in your life where you can, clear as day, see the picture of that experience in your head? So it's like a frozen memory. Do you have any frozen memories? Do you have anything where you can go back and you can feel it, you can almost taste it, you can almost smell what's in the air? I think that is generally an experience that is a marker, an important marker. And if we don't deal with it, you'll be stuck there for a long time, or you'll be taken back there every time a really big emotional experience happens. So the beauty that God gives us is that we can take our losses and we can gunny sack them and just carry them around on our backs, or we can look at the loss, acknowledge the loss, and have the loss become part of our story. So for me, that is the gift of winter, is that, sometimes I feel like I can't even get out from underneath the covers. I just want to stay in there. It's safe and I'm protected. But that process of actually sitting with your emotions until they've worked themselves out is so healthy and so important. So for me, some of those winter type things or those losses were my third child going to school for the full day, no longer being needed the way I had been needed before all day long. That was only a few years before I was back to work full time, and that was a huge transition for me. Some of my friends moving away, some of my friends deciding to leave our church, and I also wrote down my friends' marriages ending. Some of the divorces in my life have been really winter moments for me. That death, that end, it's very final. And there is a place you get to where the hope that it will change pretty much ends, and you have to accept where you are. And that's why it's so important. This section that we are just completing, of going through and looking at what does spring look like, what does summer look like, what does fall look like, and what does winter look like for me, is very, very important. Because if you don't go through each of the phases, then it is that gunny sack experience where you're just throwing all of the stuff into your backpack and it gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and it's a lot to carry. So I encourage you as a group or as by yourself to spend some time really thinking about winter, what winter looks like, what your losses are like, and which of those losses have you really dealt with and which ones have you not acknowledged yet. And take some time to identify those. And then reflect, process, and pray.